6 games of hoops on a Monday night. The Pacers get their first 3-game win streak of the season. Dallas gets a win against the Nets. And the Lakers lose to the Kings. What's going on? Everyone's losing to the Kings. We'll get into it all. My name is Shlomo Stark,
My name is Levi Jacob.
and this is the daily basketball recap in 15 minutes or less. Baby! Game of the day, Pacers Celtics. Siakam is actually good. The funny thing about the Pacers is like they're on a 3-game win streak, but their last 3 wins are against the Celtics, the Heat, and the Hornets. And you're kind of like, hey, the Celtics one was good. The Heat one was like, are the Heat even good? And the Hornets are like, are they even good? And then you're kind of like, are the Celtics even good?
Well, they didn't have Jaylen Brown, to be fair.
So are they even good? That's what I'm saying.
But this has been what I said all season. I can't believe that they're doing this well with what they have. I think this goes back to my other point, though. Is I think that the Pacers are, despite them being the worst in the league, are still scrappy enough, and they're better than most people think that they are. Like, if it's the right night with the right guys are hitting shots, Pascal Siakam scored 10 of 15. It could go right for them, honestly. They're not as bad as people think, but the record doesn't reflect that, but I think that they're still a good enough team.
Do you think they're worse than the Pelicans?
No, I think that they're more comprehensive than the Pelicans are for sure. But the fun part was, did you see what happened before the game
I
for the
don't think
Pacers
so.
team? Tyrese Halliburton was out there warming up. Free throws. He's looking beefy. He's not looking as lean as he used to. He put on some muscle.
Is he supposed to come back?
I don't know. Probably not. Realistically speaking, probably
Why
not.
would they bring him back? They want to lose. It's a
Right.
great draft, and they're not even making the playoffs. They're the worst team in the East,
So it's I feel like it's
which is
possible
the
that they
worst
bring
team
him
in
back.
the NBA.
Yeah, that's. I mean, you don't have to say, yeah, exactly. You don't have to say East. I feel like it's possible that they do what they did with Paul George. Remember all those years ago when Paul George came back from that gruesome injury? Like, they brought him back for the last 6 games of the season to like get fans excited. Season ticket holders were like happy about it, and like, they still have the same draft pick that they would before.
I don't remember that, but I applaud you for it. I remember the Paul George injury in the Olympics or the FIBA, whatever. Like, I remember that happening, and then I remember he was out for the season. I don't remember him coming back with 6 games left, but I really do trust you. Next, Utah beats Cleveland. Nice win for Utah. 123 to 112. Do you know that Kevin Love is just like chilling on the Jazz?
Yeah,
I had no idea until tonight.
I knew
If
about
you
it
were to say
because,
gun to my head, I would guess Miami or Cleveland, where Kevin Love was,
yeah.
or retired. No idea he just killed it for the Cavs, not 11 points, 4 of 6 shooting, 3 of 5 from 3, 17 minutes, like was actually like a contributor.
Well, that's why it's funny, is because he was on Miami, I think, and they traded him to the Jazz. And they're like, oh yeah, they're gonna cut Kevin Love, whatever. And he was like, hold on a minute, I kind of like Utah. I think I'm gonna stay here. And so right now for center they have Nurkic and Kevin Love, like it's like 2015 again. You know,
Kevin Love is I think one of the most disappointing careers.
I agree with you. I 100% agree with you, which is
When
upsetting.
he was on Minnesota having those 40-40 nights, it
Yeah,
was so fun.
incredible.
It was, and then he just became. It's just like, what would happen if Chris Bosh and Kevin Love didn't play with LeBron?
Yeah, but these teams are never like winning teams per se. You know what I'm saying?
Well, he
Before
won
that,
in 2016. But it's the
no,
same
no,
thing with Chris Bosh.
I'm
Chris
saying
Bosh was on.
before he joined LeBron.
That's the same thing with Chris Bosh. Chris Bosh was on Toronto, never won. Went to Miami, became a dynasty. So like, I wonder if they look back at their careers like, I could have been LaMelo Ball. Or did they look back and are like, you know what, this LeBron was the best thing that ever happened to me because I got championships, I got money, I got
But
I
I think
wonder
we should
how
also
they look back at it.
I wanna ask it in a different way. I wanna say, is it sometimes fun if we let the good stats bad team guy on the remain to be the good stats bad team guy, you know what I'm saying? Like sometimes
Yeah.
it's like, you know, that's fun. Let it be.
Yeah. There was someone tweeted, it was so funny. Someone tweeted like it was like you know those tweets that are like, do this is like to the world. So um someone tweeted like tweet something like amazing that you did, but but make it sound like it was the simplest thing you've ever done or something like that. Like it was like a weird tweet, honestly. Like the tweet doesn't even matter. But Chris Bosh just replied to the tweet, I caught a rebound and made a pass. It
That's funny. That's a great bit.
was awesome. I
It's very, very good.
was like, that is exactly what this tweet was for.
Right. 100%. That's spot on. That's really spot on. That's very funny.
Yeah, big Chris Bosh and Kevin Love fan. Wish their careers were a little bit different, but I wonder if they were kind of happy with how it went. Next, Dallas beats Brooklyn 113 to 105. Cooper Flagg, 27 points and 3 steals. 2 of 3 shooting. Here's the question. Trying to phrase this correctly. Give me a second.
Okay, in the meantime, I
Who
wanna
is
say,
more likely
yeah,
to win MVP? Cooper Flagg or Jalen Brunson?
Jalen Brunson.
No, not this season, ever in their career.
Probably Flag.
Right?
Yeah.
I also think so. It feels like he's like 6 years away from the league being his.
I didn't even feel like it's that long. Just because of, like,
You
just because
think
of
it's
Wemby?
well, no, I'm saying yeah, like there's Wemby, Jokic, Shea, Luka really run the league right now, and Cooper I don't think is ever gonna catch up to them until they get older.
Huh.
Like Cooper Flag with those 4 guys in their prime will never win MVP.
Yeah, right. You're right.
What could
I
happen is
think it's
Wemby's a bit younger than them, but Wemby, we've seen the way the league works is you don't win every year MVP, even if you're the best player in the league. You win most of the time, and then one year a story gets created by somebody else.
right. I
Like
think
Embiid should have never won MVP. Embiid was never the most valuable player in the league. Never. He had a season in which the storyline, worked in his way and Jokic had won it a million times, but nobody that season was claiming that Embiid was more valuable than Jokic. Like Jokic is obviously more valuable than Embiid. It just doesn't. That was never a debate. But like that's just the way storyline. That's just how the MVP works. It's storylines.
right. I feel like with Cooper especially the comparison, like comparison is to Jason Tatum oftentimes or LeBron. I think that LeBron is like the rich man's version of Tatum, right? A two-way player who's able to really take over a game but able to be efficient. Tatum is like
I would
less
say the
efficient than LeBron.
billionaire version because Tatum's pretty rich.
Okay, fine, fair enough, fair enough. But I think that honestly, in my opinion, like just thinking about like trajectory, I feel like Flag has the potential to fall in between those two, like in between LeBron and Tatum. And I think that you see with LeBron with two-way players who are very efficient. Like LeBron has it's been his league for so long.
Hmm.
You see even with LeBron, like you're saying, like he hasn't won the most MVPs in NBA history, even though it you could arguably say that he probably should have won more.
Meaning, yeah, LeBron had the belt as best player in the NBA for the longest, for the most times in NBA history, but that is not an award.
Right. And he's still, you know, he
Yeah.
still won MVPs, but not as many as he should have.
That's the biggest knock on Kobe. Kobe won one. He was the MVP more than one time.
Yeah.
And that's thing like Luka. Luka might never win. I
Which is
predicted, I
crazy,
think
by the
even
way.
on this show, that Wemby would win before Luka. And I predicted it like while Wemby was still in, like before, like when Wemby was like being drafted.
Uh,
I predicted that Wemby. No, it wouldn't have been on this show because this show
It
happened
didn't
after
exist
Wemby
yet.
existed. So I think it was just like on a
I
zoomed
think it was last
exact one
year.
time.
I think last year you said it.
But I called it before even last year. Like I think last year I said it because I had the platform, but I called it like with Zach, like very early on, of Wemby will just win before Luka if Luka ever wins. Like Luka was in like there's these tough players who like there's a certain point where they would win, but it's just not with the people. Like if LeBron James doesn't exist, Carmelo Anthony would have had an MVP.
Yeah, yeah.
If if Luka Doncic played in the 2000s, he would have MVPs over Steve Nash. Like there's like different. It's
No, I
just
think I
like the
think
era
I
you're
think
born
even
in at the
now,
time. Like
I think even now, if Luka Doncic was like the problem is, I think the stats are still there somewhat, but this season Luka does not look like the past versions of Luka Doncic that we've seen.
correct, but I mean, even in this version, he would have like let's say Allen Iverson in 01, if he had that season this season, he wouldn't win MVP. But in 01, it's like these things just kind of happen. Anyway, next, Philly beats Toronto 115 to 102. Toronto is fine.
Yeah, I said at the beginning of the season. Yeah,
Yeah, you did say
remember?
that at the beginning of the season. I do remember. Um, what I'm impressed with I got to give the Sixers props is that I never because this was you have to remember I just talked about this a minute ago. Embiid was an MVP and he all of a sudden just dropped for some reason. Maybe it's an injury, but I did not expect him to let Maxey run the show. And the fact that he is makes the Sixers a little scarier than I thought they would be.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's you said like maybe it was an injury. I just feel like it's more than an injury. Like it's been an injury over the course of
Injuries,
3
it's
years
many
now.
injuries. He's been
Right.
injured his whole career. He got drafted injured. I think he
But I'm
didn't play
saying
the first
but I'm
like
saying
2 or 3 years.
it's been 4 years that Maxi has been like they say availability is the best ability. People have been seeing Maxi's face score 20 points the last 4 years. So I think that's really a big deal. And also his game has gone he's his skill has grown so exponentially that like there's just no way that Embiid can be the face of this team anymore.
Totally agree. Next, Clippers beat the Hornets 117 to 109. Leonard scores 35 and a Harden moves to ninth place on the NBA's scoring list. Good for Harden.
Yeah, absolutely. I think
He
do you,
passed Shaquille
all right,
O'Neal.
you might not like this take. I think that James Harden might be the most underrated player career-wise.
I actually like the take. I was saying in 2018 that were there was like a stretch from like 2017 to 2019 where he was like the greatest offensive player of all time. It didn't include winning because he was, he had too much usage and whatever, but when Harden was good, Harden was good.
Yeah. I want some part of me wonders if he's they always talk about coming into this decade, right? All these heliocentric stars. Some part of me wonders if in a sense he's the most successful member of that system, like most successful kind of player like that. Because I
Let's say
think
it
that
this way, he's probably the most disrespected player to win an MVP award. Like how many players, like I'll give you an example.
I feel like Steve Nash is up there, to be fair.
Steve Nash might be up there,
Also
but
Russell
he won
Westbrook,
two.
also Joel Embiid, you know?
Here's the thing. Let's take Harden for example. Who would you have? Who would you have? Chris Paul or James Harden?
You're saying prime of their career?
Or their career. You're
Yeah, probably
drafting one of
Jace.
them. You're drafting one of
Probably
them.
probably James Harden.
Nah, I wouldn't
You
do
think Chris
that.
Paul?
Meaning I guess it's an opinion, but I would draft Chris Paul over James Harden, and James Harden won an MVP. But I feel like just Chris Paul is just like better for my team.
I hear, but at the same time, James Harden played with a lot of really good players, and he also they played pretty well. Like he gets people the ball pretty effectively. He's done that his whole entire career. Chris Paul, he also has his own way of conducting an offense. Like he's like a little bit LeBronish in that way. Like he has his system, how he wants to operate. He utilizes people well. You saw it with the Suns, obviously, but I don't think that he was as plug and play as people make Chris Paul out to be.
Hmm. Next and last game of the day, the Kings beat the Lakers 124 to 112 despite Luka Doncic scoring 42 points. Your guy Malik Monk, 26 points, 7 of 9 from 3.
Begs the question, why hasn't Doug Christie played him most of the season?
Doug Christie's a terrible coach. That was the Daily Basketball Recap, 50 minutes less. I want to thank you, Levy, for coasting, for producing, for being flexible with the timing today. I want to thank you, Max, for having the baby. Max does not get to be made fun of the week of the bris. I made a little rule about that in my head. And I want to thank you for listening.